All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are tracking the code on what makes a presentation go from just good to truly unforgettable. We're going to be diving straight into the book Talk Like TED to break down the science and the structure behind a truly world-class talk. So, what is it really? What's that secret sauce that turns a regular speech into something that just sticks with you for years? Now, you might be thinking it's all about being a natural speaker, some kind of gift you're born with. But the truth is, it's a set of principles that anyone, and I mean anyone, can learn and master.
And that right there, that's the foundation for everything we're about to cover. TED's own curator, Chris Anderson, he hits the nail on the head. The best talks are about humans connecting to humans. It's not just data, it's about emotion and dreams and imagination. And that brings us right to our very first secret.
Okay, secret number one. The first pillar of any great talk is building an emotional connection. And here's the key. It has to start with your own genuine, undeniable passion for the subject.
You know, it sounds so simple, but it's the one step most people just skip right over. Before you even think about crafting a single slide for your audience, you've got to connect with what makes your heart sing about this topic. Because let me tell you, that enthusiasm, it's literally contagious.
Check out this example. It's perfect. The author was working with a strawberry grower who, started with his job title, I'm a CEO. But by digging deeper, by asking, what makes your heart sing, they found the real story. That for his family, strawberries were a stepping stone to the American dream. Now that is the story people connect with, not a job title.
And look, this isn't just some fluffy, feel-good idea. It has a huge, real-world impact. There was a study of angel investors who were screening hundreds of companies, and they ranked the founders' passion, just their perceived passion, as more important than their education or even their experience in a startup. Passion is just that persuasive.
So, you've connected with their heart. Awesome. Next up, you need to capture their brain. And the single most effective way to do that is with the power of novelty, the unexpected.
Here's a cool thing about our brains. They're kind of lazy. They are built to conserve energy. But they have this one trigger that makes them snap to attention: novelty. Paying attention to something new or surprising is this ancient survival instinct, and you can totally leverage it to keep your audience completely hooked on every word. So your job as the presenter is to create what the book calls a jaw-dropping moment. This is that moment that makes the dopamine in your audience's brain just light up because you've taught them something totally new, or you've presented a fact in a shocking way, or you've completely reframed a concept they thought they understood. I mean, here is a perfect example from Robert Ballard's TED Talk, the guy who found the Titanic. He could have just said, hey, we don't spend enough money on ocean exploration. Boring, right? Instead, he created this shocking, novel comparison. NASA's one-year budget could fund his agency for 1,600 years. Wow, you just can't forget a statistic like that. And get this for a way to make the unexpected physical. To get funding, a group of nuclear scientists didn't just show charts and data. No, they put tape on the floor of the meeting room and said, okay, everyone inside this line would be eliminated. Everyone outside would survive without a scratch. They made the abstract concept of a blast radius terrifyingly real, and you better believe it, it was memorable.
Okay, finally, you've connected with them emotionally, you've captured their attention with something new. The third secret is making sure your message actually sticks in their brain long after they've walked out of the room. And this is all about crafting a memorable delivery.
40. See this number? This number is the enemy. It is the absolute hallmark of death by PowerPoint. You know those slides that are so cluttered with text that your audience has to choose between reading your slide or listening to you? And guess what? The human brain just can't do both at the same time.
Now look at this contrast. In that same talk we just mentioned, Robert Ballard used 57 slides, and a ton of them had 0 words. Yep, 0. Just powerful, beautiful images of the undersea worlds he's discovered. See, he was telling a story, not lecturing from a teleprompter.
And here's the science to back this all up. It's something called the picture superiority effect. If you just give people information with text, 3 days later, they'll remember about 10% of it. But if you pair that same information with a relevant picture, recall jumps all the way up to 65%. You make your message more than 6 times more memorable just by adding a picture. That's insane.
But a memorable delivery isn't just about what's on your slides. It's about you. It's how you carry yourself. Your body language sends this incredibly powerful signal before you even say a single word. There was an FBI study that found prisoners would often target officers based on their posture.
The ones who slouched were seen as easier targets. Confidence is communicated without a sound. So here are 3 super quick, totally actionable fixes. If you're a fidgeter, record yourself so you can see what you're doing. If you stand like a statue, give yourself permission to walk around a bit. It actually makes you look way more engaged. And for goodness sakes, if your hands are always glued inside your pockets, take them out. Use open, confident gestures.
So when you boil it all down, it's about a fundamental shift in how you think about this. The old way was a data dump, right? Text-heavy slides, a stiff delivery. The TED way is about creating an experience, one that is emotional, one that is novel, and one that is truly, truly memorable.
At the end of the day, becoming a great speaker isn't magic. As the author reminds us, it's a skill, and like any skill, it requires practice. Your ideas are worth that effort. You just have to be willing to put in the time to really master the craft.
So as we wrap this up, the final question isn't about technique anymore. It's about your message. You've got the framework now. You know how to connect, how to surprise, and how to be remembered. Your ideas are worth sharing with the world. So the only question left is, what story will you tell?